Black college student named Maya woke up before sunrise on the day of her final exam at a large university in Texas. This exam meant everything to her. It could decide her scholarship, her GPA, and her dream of becoming the first graduate in her family. Maya had studied for weeks, balancing part-time work, family responsibilities, and long nights at the library. She believed this exam was her chance to prove she belonged at the university. As she drove toward campus, her notes rested on the passenger seat beside her. The Texas morning was unusually quiet, and the highway stretched long and empty. Maya checked the time repeatedly, feeling both nervous and hopeful. She told herself she would arrive early, find her seat, and finally let all her hard work pay off. Suddenly, she noticed a car pulled over on the side of the road with its hazard lights blinking. A woman stood beside it, clearly distressed, waving for help. Maya hesitated. She looked at the clock again, knowing she could not afford any delays. At first, Maya drove past slowly, her heart racing. Thoughts of her exam filled her mind, but something inside her felt uneasy. She remembered her mother always telling her that success meant nothing if kindness was forgotten along the way. After a few seconds, Maya made a decision that would change her life. She turned her car around and pulled over behind the stranded vehicle. The woman looked relieved, almost emotional. As Maya stepped out to help, the woman explained that her car had suddenly stopped working and her phone had no signal. She appeared well-dressed but shaken, clearly not used to being alone on an empty highway. Maya reassured her and offered to help however she could. Maya checked the car briefly but realized the problem was beyond her knowledge. Still, she stayed calm and told the woman she would not leave her alone. She tried calling for roadside assistance, hoping to find at least one bar of service. As the minutes passed, Maya felt the pressure growing inside her. She imagined the exam starting without her, the professor locking the doors, and her future slipping away. Even so, she stayed, choosing compassion over convenience. The woman thanked Maya repeatedly, surprised by her patience. She asked Maya why she would stop when she was clearly in a hurry. Maya smiled softly and said that helping someone felt more important than any test. They talked while waiting, sharing small details about their lives. Maya spoke about college, her dreams, and her struggles. The woman listened carefully, impressed by Maya's determination and calm strength under pressure. Eventually, a passing driver stopped and offered to call for help using a satellite phone. Roadside assistance was finally contacted, and relief washed over both women. Maya felt a quiet peace, even though she knew she was now very late. Before leaving, the woman took Maya's hands and thanked her sincerely. She said kindness like Maya's was rare and unforgettable. Maya brushed it off, saying anyone would have done the same, though deep down she knew that was not true. Maya rushed back to her car, tears forming in her eyes as she drove toward campus. She already knew she would miss the exam. Fear and disappointment mixed inside her, but she reminded herself she had done the right thing. When Maya arrived at the university, the exam hall doors were closed. Her worst fear had come true. She stood outside quietly, feeling defeated, wondering how one choice could cost her so much. Later that day, Maya returned home exhausted, unsure how she would explain everything to her family. She replayed the morning over and over in her mind, questioning her decision but never regretting her compassion. That night, Maya tried to sleep but couldn't. Her future felt uncertain, yet her conscience was clear. She believed that kindness had value, even if it came with sacrifice, and hoped that somehow life would understand her choice. Unbeknownst to Maya, the woman she helped was far more than she appeared. She was the wife of a powerful American billionaire, someone whose life was surrounded by privilege, security, and influence Maya could never imagine. The woman had been deeply moved by Maya's selflessness. For the first time in years, she had seen pure kindness without expectation. She decided that Maya's actions should not go unnoticed or unrewarded. As Maya drifted into an uneasy sleep, she had no idea that her life was about to change dramatically. The choice she made on that quiet Texas highway was only the beginning of a story far bigger than she ever imagined. The next morning, Maya woke up to a deep, unfamiliar sound vibrating through the walls of her small house. At first, she thought she was dreaming, but the noise grew louder, stronger, shaking the windows. She rushed to the front door in her pajamas, confused and nervous. Outside, a helicopter slowly descended into the open field beside her yard. Dust and wind filled the air as neighbors stepped out of their homes, staring in disbelief. Children pointed, phones were raised, and whispers spread through the quiet neighborhood. Maya's heart pounded as the helicopter landed. She had never seen anything like this so close, especially not in her modest community. Before she could process what was happening, two men in dark suits stepped out, followed by a woman who looked calm and confident. One of the men approached Maya respectfully and asked her name. Still stunned, she nodded and confirmed who she was. He handed her a thick envelope with her name written neatly across the front and asked her to read it carefully. Maya's hands trembled as she opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. The words were warm, sincere, and full of gratitude. It was from the woman she had helped on the highway the day before. The letter thanked Maya for her courage, patience, and kindness. It explained how rare it was to meet someone who would sacrifice something so important to help a stranger. As Maya read, tears filled her eyes. The letter then revealed the truth. The woman was the wife of a well-known American billionaire, someone whose resources could open doors most people never even saw. She explained that Maya's kindness had deeply touched her and reminded her of what truly mattered. At the end of the letter was an invitation. Maya was asked to meet with the family that same day to discuss her future. The letter promised that her missed exam and academic fears would be taken care of. Maya looked up in shock, hardly able to breathe. Her neighbors watched silently as she stood frozen, holding the letter like it might disappear. The woman smiled gently and reassured Maya that this was real. Later that day, Maya was flown to a private estate outside the city. Everything felt unreal: the size of the house, the quiet luxury, the feeling that she had stepped into another world entirely. Yet, she remained herself, humble and respectful. During the meeting, the billionaire and his wife listened as Maya shared her story. She spoke honestly about her struggles, her family, and her dream of graduating college. She never asked for anything, only explaining why she made the choice she did. The billionaire was deeply impressed. He said that success meant little without character and that Maya had shown more integrity than many people he had met in his life. He told her that kindness was a strength, not a weakness. They informed Maya that her university had already been contacted. Not only would she be allowed to retake her exam, but she would also receive a full scholarship covering tuition, housing, and books until graduation. Maya broke down in tears, overwhelmed by gratitude. For the first time, the weight she carried every day lifted from her shoulders. She thanked them repeatedly, her voice shaking with emotion, but the gifts did not end there. The family also offered Maya a paid internship at one of their companies, giving her real-world experience and mentorship. They wanted to invest not just in her education, but in her future. When Maya returned home that evening, her neighborhood welcomed her like a hero. The helicopter story had already spread, but Maya reminded everyone that the real lesson was kindness, not money or fame. Weeks later, Maya retook her exam and passed with excellent marks. Her confidence grew, knowing that her values had guided her correctly. She focused on her studies with renewed determination and hope. Over time, Maya used her opportunities to help others. She started a small scholarship fund for students facing difficult choices like hers. She shared her story not to boast, but to inspire. Years later, when Maya graduated, she looked back on that quiet Texas highway as the moment everything changed. Not because of a billionaire or a helicopter, but because she chose compassion over fear. Maya learned that doing the right thing may feel like a loss in the moment, but life has a way of honoring integrity. Her story became proof that kindness can open doors no exam ever could, and whenever she heard the distant sound of a helicopter, Maya smiled, remembering that one simple choice turned her struggle into a future filled with purpose, dignity, and hope.